What's going on, guys? What's going on? After I made my video yesterday, I started really seeing that Xbox is going to have a fantastic year in 2024. You know, I felt like 2023 was a fun year for myself. Not only just being an Xbox consumer, but just being a consumer of gaming in general. You know, I got a PlayStation, a Switch. I got every platform you can really think of. So when I was sitting here looking at the roadmap for 2024, even though I think in terms of gaming in general, 2023 is going to be better than 2024, I'm sitting here looking at some amazing titles that's coming out in 2024, especially Xbox. You know, let's go over this list of games that I see a lot of people sharing that most likely is coming out. I'm going to tell you guys what I personally feel these games are coming out. First game for Xbox is Hellblade. Hellblade 2 is one of those games that I feel is going to push the testament on whether or not Microsoft should have invested in those initial studios that they bought all those years ago in 2018. You know, they chose to share the Series X announcement with Hellblade 2. And we are getting to the point where we're finally going to see the release of Hellblade 2. So I think this game is probably going to be one of the best looking games of current generation. I think Hellblade 2 is going to push the narrative on how a current gen game at this point, how they should look. You know, and I hope it is, man, because I feel like Hellblade needs to be a looker. It needs to be eye candy, and I think it's going to do that tenfold. The next game is Avowed. You guys know how big of a fan I am of Obsidian. Obsidian don't miss. You know, sure, sometimes they sink people's ships better, but they never fully miss. Outer Worlds 2 was amazing. You know, Star Wars Old Republic 2, amazing. South Park Stick of Truth, amazing. People really love the Pillar of Eternity franchise. I'm pretty sure that's the one they made. Those type of games, there's so many of them now, it's hard to keep up with like who's making who, but I'm pretty sure it's Pillar of Eternity. Put in the comment section below if I'm wrong about that. I would definitely like to be educated on that matter. All I'm saying is when it comes to that Fallout New Vegas, Obsidian don't miss. And Avowed was rumored to be that game that Microsoft looked at them and was like, we want you. We got to have you. So I think Avowed is definitely going to be one of those games that pushes the Xbox platform in 2024. Towerborn. We all know about Towerborn, man. Towerborn looks fun. You know, it looks like one of those nice little, AA games that we play between these big AAA products. Here recently, gotta be real, I've been enjoying more of those AA's than I've been enjoying AAA's in the past few years. And I feel like Towerborn is really going to resonate with me. It's made by the people, I'm pretty sure, that made Banner Saga, and I think Microsoft is going to utilize this title, and it potentially might get shadow dropped in the event on the 18th of this month, that developer direct. I'm very curious, just because they shadow drop Hi-Fi Rush, I don't think that's going to give like a new trend. I think you got to do something more than once for me to see a pattern. And right now, I don't see a pattern when it comes to shadow dropping games. And you can make an argument that shadow dropping Hi-Fi Rush actually hurt them more than it helped them. So I'm kind of curious on what Microsoft and Xbox's perception on shadow dropping games. Another one that I'm kind of like up and down if this game's coming out, but I do think it's early, it's late enough in development. But if everything going on in the world, it's like Stalker 2. Now, me myself, I don't think I'm really going to vibe with Stalker 2 much, because I've seen the type of gameplay that it has and the hardcore audience it delivers. Maybe I'll enjoy it, maybe I won't. I don't know. It will be in Game Pass, so I can at least try it out, see how I feel about it. I just feel like this game could definitely come out this year, but depending on how bad the development process was interrupted because of the war, I don't know if it's going to come out this year or not. But I can totally see it coming out this year, so I felt like it was worthy bringing it up in this list. Now, the leak. We had a leak. It was the big Xbox leak that happened a couple months ago. And I'm looking at the games that's on this leak. There's stuff like Dishonored 3. And when I'm looking at all these games, I saw something that was interesting. It was that Oblivion remake one. You know, when I'm looking at the Oblivion, remaster, I don't know what they mean by remaster. And that game was actually supposed to come out like last year. So I think right now would be a good time to actually bring that game forward. Oblivion is arguably some of people's favorite points of gaming when it comes to the Elder Scrolls franchise. So I think it would make sense for Oblivion to be out this year. Forza Horizon 6. You know, I'm not the biggest racing fan. I tend to lean more towards the Horizon franchise because I really enjoy that casual, you know, parody when it comes to racing. I'm not really a big racer. I will try Forza 6, and hopefully they have it in a really unique area that really wants me to vibe with that. I'm hoping like a Japan area. I don't know. But I think Forza is definitely most likely going to come out this year. You know, we all know that this game is one of those things that really pushes out sales. It pushes out that racing community. It's overall a successful game. Flight Simulator. I'm going to be real with you guys. I do not like Flight Simulator. It just doesn't vibe with me. You know, I don't like learning how to fly a plane or, you know, a commercial plane. Anything related to that. It's like I said, when it comes to the Horizon, I prefer more of a casual thing than just like learning all the buttons to do stuff. But I know this is a big title for people, and I could feel like this game's going to push certain people to the platform or, you know, to PC, because people need to remember this is also PC as well. This is going to be a huge if. And I don't even think it's an if. I think this game has a really good chance of coming out. It's just I know a lot of speculation in the industry right now. Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, to me, is that game that's going to make Xbox have a great 2024 or a good 2024 to that level above it. So if you have that good, we got that great with the Indiana Jones. If we have that great, we have that amazing. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor on whether or not Xbox has a phenomenal year or not, depending how well Indiana Jones does. Because I think Indiana Jones, even though it's definitely not as popular as something like a Spider-Man or a Star Wars, I do think it's got a little bit of an audience that can help push it a little bit forward. I'm just curious on exactly what they're going to show at this event when it comes to Indiana Jones. Is it going to be third person, first person? Is it going to be a mixture of both? If it is a mixture of both, what's the mixture like? When do you go first person, or do you stay first person and go third person for scenarios? This is stuff that we definitely need to know. And obviously when it comes to like DLC and little stuff, you know, we have the Call of Duty acquisition that happened. So we would probably see some form of marketing for that. I don't know if that's this year or next year that Xbox is able to take control of the marketing. You also have the Starfield expansion. I can't remember what the actual name of it was. It was like something... Shattered something. I can't remember. Put it in the comment section below if you remember that. There is so much stuff that Microsoft and Xbox can launch this year. They can have a fantastic 2024. And that's one of the reasons I'm a little frustrated with the potential that they're porting more of their games over to competing platforms such as the PlayStation. Because in my personal opinion, when it comes to where we're at and where we're going to be, last year, even though they had a decent year, they didn't have a whole lot of like console selling experiences. They had Starfield, and you could argue maybe Forza, but I would even say that that's kind of a stretch arguing Forza. But this year, you got Hellblade, you got Avowed, you got the potential Call of Duty, you know, partnership between them. You got Indiana Jones, you got the Starfield, whatever the DLC is, Oblivion remaster. Now I know a lot of people will probably play some of these games on PC, but I'm very confident if you give them games, and all these games are quality, because remember, it doesn't matter what these games come out. They could come off all these games. You know, we can get South of Midnight and everything. If these games ain't quality, it does not matter. But I think that goes without saying. We don't need to announce that every time it happens. But I'm very curious your guys' opinion on this. You know, what do you guys think 2024 is going to be like? I personally feel like they're going to have a solid year, probably the better of the year from all the platforms, just depending on exactly what Nintendo's got going for the next hardware that they have. Because we know the Switch 2 is coming out. I'm curious their launch lineup. You know, they most likely have stuff being worked on for that launch lineup, but I'm curious exactly what happens. But Put in the comment section below what you guys feel about this. I'm very curious you guys' opinion. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. Man, 2024 about to be lit.